So as per usual for this work here, the speaker work for this one is pretty light, and the only crowded part that we're going to be modeling is the underground, and the rest of the levels and the only places that we have the speakers are the halls where we have the firebox as here, and the ones over here as well. The rest of it is just plain halls and doesn't have anything special. Most of it is in the underground and the ground floor plans. First, I'll select this, Control C, Control N. Alright, then Control V to paste the file. Then M plus enter and select all of the plan here. Then I'll zoom in here in the plan where we have our base points, and then I'll select it to place it in our 0, 0 point. Then Z plus enter and E plus enter here. And then I'll type the UN where I can put the unit on meters and hit OK. Now we can delete the plant structure itself. And alright, now the space here is actually for the pump boosters and the motor house. I'll select and delete them for now. We usually leave these be for now, but when we're designing the motor house later on, we'll connect them to that. So then we have the drain on the floor and the valve for testing and draining, which I'll delete. And then finally we have the speakers here, which we can do and then get to using these. Alright, so the diameter here is 3 inches or more for now. Then we have 3 down here. And alright, so then I'll hit PU and just click on purge all as much as needed to get rid of all of the items. Alright, then after that, we'll go over here and hit Ctrl S to save the file, where we can place it here under the name fire, hit save. Then we go over here where we have the file itself, right click on it and select copy full file path. Alright, so we'll leave the AutoCAD file be for now, and then in the minus 2.1 floor that we have in the underground, I'll go over to the Insert tab and open up the link CAD, and in the menu here we'll put the unit on meter and the coloring of black and white. Then we have this on auto origin and we'll hit open. So in the fire plan we don't need a duct, so we can hide them here. So I'll go over here to the visibility graphics menu and open it. Then under the filters tab, I'll select the vent and select the add option from down here. Then in this menu, I'll select the new option and then I'll create a filter for this right now. If you actually remember, we said that we're using the fabrication tool for the modeling of this part. And the fabrication itself doesn't have any specified system type under the specifications section. So we went ahead and created a system type for it ourselves. So now if we go over to the AutoCAD file, let me just close the file plan because we don't need it for now. Now here in the plan, we can go over to the exhaust. Here we have the back and forth of the plan. So for this section in the Revit file, I can hit tab to select all of this group over here. Then I'll go over to the specifications menu where we can create the system type designed for this part ourselves. So we'll type in supply, then OK, and apply. Alright, and then over here on the right where we have the exhaust, we can select the group here as well using tab. Let me just zoom out of here, and then for the system type of this part, we can just type in exhaust. Alright, then after we've done that, we can hit apply. And then after that, we can go over to the visibility graphics menu where we can open up the filters tab and select the add filter option. select the new option, and then I'll name the new filter ducts as an example. Then I'll go to the filters menu itself and select the duct and rename the new filter fabrication duct. Now we can open up this part and select the MEP fabrication duct work. Now I think for this part we named it system type or name. Alright, so on the right we'll select the system type through the menu here. Now this equals first exhaust, then I'll select the add set option and cancel this, add rule, system type equals, let's see what we have here for the system type. Open this up and then we have the exhaust and the supply. So select supply to see if this will work, but each of these needs a parameter themselves. But we'll see if we can make it work for now, and then I'll hit OK. Then I'll select the fabrication duct to the menu here, and then I'll uncheck its visibility box. Hit apply and then OK. Alright, so because the two sections are actually separate and the and that we selected states the rule for both system types. But for now, I'll go over to the View tab and open up the filters and select the fabrication duct that we've created. Then I'll delete this part and instead of and, I'll put in or. Now we should technically get our answer from this, where I'll select system type equals supply. Now either this one or that one should work. Hit apply. And alright. Now let's go over to the visibility graphics menu once again. Then select the fabrication duct in the filters menu. Now this should work. This is duct work, and then I'll hit OK. And let's test this once more time. So we check the visibility box and hit apply. Alright, then I'll check it and hit apply once again to see if we still have it over here. Alright, then I'll open up the filters menu once again and hit edit on fabrication ducts. Then I'll uncheck the second option to see if the first one works or not. Alright. The answer is yes, so the reason it's not working is because the systems are separate. Now this might benefit us. We can open up the fabrication duct in the filters menu, where I can rename the fabrication duct filter itself to exhaust. So Ctrl C here and then edit this to exhaust. Alright, let me just change the order of the name to fabrication exhaust duct. And then I'll copy it because we'll need to do the coloring based on the system type, and if they're the same system we might have a problem. That's why we'll separate them. So then I'll rename this one to fabrication supply duct to see if this one will work or not. Alright, I think I need to get a duplicate of this one in order to work. So I'll just copy the exhaust and then hit rename and put an exhaust instead of supply here, and then I'll hit OK. Now we can create a duplicate of the exhaust and rename the duplicate to fabrication supply duct. Alright, then get rid of this and then I'll hit OK. We just have to put this on supply. Alright, then apply and OK. Now I'll select the exhaust in the menu and put this on supply and hit OK. Alright, now that it's been added, we can hit apply once again so that we have both of them at the same time in the plan, which will save us a lot of trouble. Now how this helps us is under the ducts, we just have to open up the plan here. Alright, so here we can go over to the visibility graphics menu and then the filters tab, select add here and add both of these. And now based on the coloring that we've already specified in the MEP plans, I'll put this on solid, and as example, let's say you've already specified this to be the pink color. We can select it here, and then for the exhaust itself, we can select this green color and then hit apply. Now we can see both of the exhaust and the supply with the color that represents them, which should remain the same throughout the projects. If we had done them under the same filter, they'd have the same color, and then recognizing them would be more